The first 20 players of the 2024-2025 FPL season have had their prices unveiled today. So, who are we going to buy? Who are we fading? Let's check it all out. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of FPL All or Nothing, a new YouTube channel covering FPL, every angle for the entire game, for the entire 2024-2025 season. I will be here every game week covering who to buy, who to sell, who's going to haul, who's going to give us nothing. It will all be here on the YouTube channel. So make sure you stick around, like, and subscribe to the channel. Any support is greatly appreciated as we get on this FPL journey together. It is Thursday, July 11th. The English and Spanish teams are in the Euro 2024 final, but FPL decided it couldn't wait any longer and dropped the first 20 players with their prices for the upcoming season. And we're just going to kind of do a quick dive, nothing super deep here, just go over who got their price unveiled and how are we initially feeling about that. A little bit about me. My name is Ewan. I've been playing FPL for 3 seasons. I've got 2 top 100K finishes. And then last year, career best, top 5K, 4,300 or something. It's in this little thing over here whenever I get over to that. But I've been consuming Premier League content since I was about 6. And then a few years ago, my buddy got me into Fantasy Premier League for the first time. And I have been obsessed ever since. You can find my writing on rotoballer.com, but this is going to be my YouTube channel with my video content. So definitely stick around, like and subscribe to the channel. Any support is appreciated. But let's get into what we're actually all here for. Looking at these prices, every 2024-2025 FPL player price revealed so far. Mohamed Salah, the cover guy, but he is not the most expensive guy in the game. That distinction belongs to one Erling Haaland, who out of nowhere, I don't think anyone's expecting this, 15 million right off the bat. I mean, great job by FPL to actually make it a decision whether or not we want to have Erling Haaland in our fantasy Premier Leagues for the 2024-2025 season. I wish, and I think a lot of people feel this way, that they had continued that kind of pattern with other players that did not seem to really come in all that much. But off the bat, Erling Haaland, 15 million, really going to give a lot of managers some decisions going into game week 1, whether or not we are going to have Erling Haaland in our team or not. And the reason for that is the next guy here, Mohamed Salah, 12.5 million. Same price as last year. But he still, as it says here, recorded 200 points for 7 straight seasons since joining the Premier League. So it's really hard to go against Mohamed Salah. Game week 1 is against Ipswich Town. Feels like the captaincy is locked in there, although Haaland does play Ipswich in game week 2. So are we already kind of like hokey-cokeying in 2 of the highest assets in the game? Seems like a debate for later in the preseason. I will be covering all of that throughout the preseason. So hopefully multiple videos a week will be coming out of this channel. The little sidebar down here has some info. Join the league. The code is not out yet because the game is not out yet. I'm thinking that's going to be coming out on Wednesday, will be the full game. So that's when the league code will be down there. Here are my previous ranks that I was talking about earlier. So any kind of useful info is down there. And if you want to talk FPL on X, or formerly known as Twitter, you can follow me on there at F1UNFPL. I also cover F1 Fantasy pole position. If you are into F1 Fantasy, you can find me on my other YouTube channel over there. So definitely check that out if F1 Fantasy is also your thing. Outside of Mohamed Salah, we move down to Ollie Watkins, who is probably going to be Sir Ollie Watkins by the end of the year after he scored the game-winning goal to get England into the final of Euro 2024. So great job by him. The highest scoring forward in the game last season. He was out of this world. Let's check it out here real quick. We can share this tab instead. Ollie Watkins, he came away with a whopping, let me get that there, 37 goal contributions in FPL. A fair number of those were fantasy assists, so we will have to remember that as we kind of dive deeper into the preseason and whether or not Ollie Watkins is going to come in. He finished the season at 8.9 million and comes in at 9 million for the season. Look at this. Highest scoring forward in the game, third highest scoring overall, just behind Cole Palmer and Phil Foden. So Ollie Watkins, 9 million is definitely going to be in our thoughts coming into the 2024-2025 FPL season. 6 million less than Erling Haaland. Like I said, at least they've made this Haaland thing a debate. We're already kind of like, well, is it going to be worth that? I mean, like Kai Havertz and Richarlison, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. 8 million for Kai Havertz, 7 million for Richarlison. They've both been reclassified as forwards for the 2024-2025 season. That's the same as Erling Haaland. That's like a lot of production to kind of just leave on the table. So 15 million, like I think that's just a really good job by FPL. Kind of, it's brave and it's exactly what we need, the debate that we need, because last year he was 14 million and pretty much every content creator in the world was saying, well, it's just a game of 14 players now, because we were all so terrified of going against Erling Haaland for the 2023-2024 season. Didn't turn out to be that way, but he has gone up in price. So great job by FPL there. Bruno Fernandes, 8.5 million, same number as last year. I'm hoping that this is not a sign of things to come when it comes to the likes of Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. Hopefully those guys, especially Palmer and Saka, they have to be at 10 million, 10.5, 11 million. That would be great. Like really give us these challenging decisions to make in FPL, because we have to be able, like, have to make some sacrifices to get these great players in our squad. Bruno hasn't had his really gotten to the heights of his career year where he scored a ton of penalties. I think that was the year before I started playing FPL. So I've never really seen the highs of Bruno Fernandes. However, he has been in my team multiple times over the last 3 seasons. And usually whenever I watch him, it's always like how did he not come away with a double-digit haul? And the whole point of this YouTube channel is haul or nothing. So he will be a very popular pick on this channel moving forward. Next up here is Kai Havertz. Already touched on him. Came over from Chelsea last season and then took a few game weeks to get into it, but then lit the world on fire, took over North London, had a pretty good campaign at Euro 2024 with Germany, some ups and some downs. I know he wasn't loved by everyone over here in Germany. That's where I'm living, by the way. I live in Germany, so I'll be on the UK kind of time zone most of the time. But yeah, the German was involved in team high 18 goals from game week 21 onwards, 9 goals, 9 assists, highlight in his all-around play, like the article says here for FPL. Havertz, very popular, should be nailed in that Arsenal starting 11 moving forward with Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, just a fantastic squad from like back to front. So Havertz will be very popular, 8 million. That could have been higher as well, but I do enjoy that he's already a forward. So that makes it a little bit better, gives us more choices up front, more debate up front there as well. Jean-Philippe Mateta ended the world, or set the world on fire at the end of the season as well. He was incredibly popular on free hit 34, 32. Oh, it's been so, I think it was free hit 34 or 35. Very popular. Ended the season with a hat trick for Crystal Palace as the Eagles were soaring high. Their new manager really got the team playing well. Eze should be there. The loss of Michael Olise is going to be something to watch as well. But for Crystal Palace, they got Munoz, the defender. Really interested to see what his price is going to be for the 2024-2025 FPL season. That is one I'm hoping we get tomorrow on Friday or Monday or Tuesday. Sounds like the game is going to launch Wednesday, and they're just going to kind of drip drab the prices over the next few days. Mateta, he is an interesting option, but for 0.5 more, you can get the starting forward in the Arsenal 11. Just doesn't feel like that's gonna really be there for me. Ivan Toney also here, another London forward, 7.5 million. This could be the kind of game-breaking price that we're looking for, because it sounds like Ivan Toney is going to be on his way out of Brentford. They need to kind of cash in on him. Sounds like he's got a few suitors. So if he's going to like a high flying team at the top of the table compared to a mid table squad. Like if he goes to Arsenal and challenges Havertz, Chelsea, Tottenham, definitely all of these squads could look at him for sure. And if Tony gets to go there and he's 7.5 million starting up front on penalties because his record is so good, he won't even look at the ball like we saw in Euro 2024 as well. Tony's price could be one to watch as we get into the game week 1 building. Anthony Gordon, 7.5 million. I was kind of shocked that this price was as low as it was, but it makes sense considering where he started. And just given Newcastle might have some challenges turning over the roster, the reports have been that he's been linked to Liverpool. So if this guy ends up at Liverpool for 7.5, that could be a game changer when it comes to playing Mo Salah. Like you could get another Liverpool midfielder for 5 million less. And yeah, something to watch there. Newcastle have Southampton at home in game week 1. And if you all remember from last season, Anthony Gordon's record at home was outstanding. Chef's kiss was Anthony Gordon's record at St. James's Park. So he will definitely be in a lot of game week 1 squads considering his home record, and he'll be playing the newly promoted Southampton. Jared Bowen, kind of not as hot on for me personally, 7.5 million. Pretty sure that's where he started last year, maybe 7 million. Had a really good breakout season 3 years ago. The first year I played FPL, he had a breakout season. And he's kind of disappointed since then. West Ham in general haven't been as firing in the league as I think some of us expected them to be, but I don't think they're in Europe this year. I'd have to double check that. So maybe they can focus more on their domestic campaign. And yeah, in general, Jared Bowen, I doubt he will be one of the starting 5 midfielders, especially at the 7.5 price tag with Gordon is right there. We've got to think about Salah, Saka, Palmer, Foden. We'll see where Sung Hyung Min comes in as a forward or a midfielder. It'd be interesting to see what happens there as well. But I think Jared Bowen is going to be looking from the outside in for some game week 1 teams here. Richarlison for Spurs, 7 million. He's become a forward again, very polarizing player in FPL last season. I mean, when he was hot, he was hot. And when he was not, he was ice cold. Was really injured in the back half of the season. Kind of came into his own when Sung Hyung Min went off to the Asia Cup. But yeah, Timo Werner, Kulusevski, I'm pretty sure he's still with Spurs. He was on loan there for a while, so I'm not sure if they made that move permanent. Sung Hyung Min, Brennan Johnson. So we'll see how it kind of lines up for Spurs moving forward after Richarlison didn't play at Copa America either. So he's kind of had the whole summer to recover. So he should be healthy coming into Spurs' preseason. But yeah, there's a lot of forwards to choose from already. Haaland, Tony, Mateta, Ollie Watkins. There's going to be Darwin Nunez, whose price we don't know. Like all this kind of stuff. So Richarlison may be kind of a wait and see there as well. As we keep scrolling down here, Christopher Nkunku, very injured in his debut season with Chelsea. I think this was the most controversial price for among the 20 players that came out today. I think this could be a little bit of a cheat code, a very Cole Palmer-esque pick by FPL with their 6.5 million pricing. From what I heard earlier in the 2023-2024 season, Nkunku probably could have been on penalties for Chelsea. And then Cole Palmer just pretty much took it over and flew away and nonstop. So Nkunku might not be on penalties anymore, obviously, after Palmer's outstanding season. In his debut season with Chelsea, but 6.5 million for Nkunku could be far too cheap. And they have a very nice early schedule. Pedro Neto, another injury pick, but really was on it when he got his feet on the pitch. And Wolves were really fun to watch last year compared to 2 seasons ago where they scored the least amount of goals in the league. Gary O'Neill really had them firing last season. So hopefully they can build on that. They don't suffer too many losses in the transfer market, keep their attack together. So it may not be a start of the season pick. That's kind of what happened with Wolves last year as well. We weren't all like ready to trust them. So it might be like a few weeks into the season before we're ready to kind of dive into Pedro Neto and any other Wolves assets moving forward. They released 1 player from every single club today. That's why there's kind of some random ones here. Solly March, 6.5 million. He's been popular in the past. I doubt there's going to be a midfield spot for Solly March at 6.5 million, especially with another new head coach for Brighton. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 5.5 million. This kind of piqued my interest a little bit. 100 points last season. Forest not survived again for a second straight year. We'll see if they have more attacking football coming towards them in the 2024-2025 FPL season. But 5.5 million could be sort of an enabler for teams that are really like non-negotiably slamming Haaland and Mo Salah into their teams. Hudson-Odoi, 5.5 million could be the perfect recipe to their woes. Antoine Semenyo for Bournemouth has flashes last year as well. But Bournemouth, it's kind of like a game week 1. I can't imagine putting a Bournemouth guy in my squad outside of like Dominic Solanke. Would be interested to see his price at some point over the next 4 days as well. Jordan Pickford and Bernd Leno came in as the keepers at 5 million. This is encouraging because if you want safety, you're going to have to pay up for it in FPL at the goalkeeper position. If Jordan Pickford came in at 4.5 million after kind of leading the league in FPL points last season, he would just be an automatic pick. Again, 153 points last season, along with 13 clean sheets for the England keeper. And I just don't think that if he was 4.5 million, he would be in every single team. And at 5 million, people are really going to think about this. We'll see what the kind of 4.5 million route is for goalkeepers. Bernd Leno had his moments last year as well, 133 points in net for Fulham. But yeah, the 5 million price bracket is just such a strange area for goalkeepers in FPL. So I think a lot of us will either at that point maybe pay up at 5.5 million for what I'm assuming is going to be like the David Raya, Allison Becker, kind of Andre Onana area, or just drop down to the 4.5. The 5 million range is just like a little bit like dip your toe in the water, not too much, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I think you maybe want to commit to like a proper goalkeeper who you're kind of banking on getting points, BPS, that kind of thing. Pickford is great when Everton do keep a clean sheet. So we'll have to look at their schedule at some point, which will be an episode coming up in the future. But yeah, I feel like the £5 million price bracket is just a little bit strange for goalkeepers, especially if you're going to be pricing up some of these assets in FPL. Moving down here to the last 3 guys, I'm not going to sit here and lecture you saying that I know everything about the championship teams that are coming up. Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton. The most noise I've seen about is Life Davis is what I would say. 4.5 million for Ipswich, 2 goals, and it says 18 assists last season. I was on transfer market and they said it was 21 assists, so that's what I've been going with. But 125 chances in the championship last year, 4.5 million defender could certainly be something to watch. And I've seen a lot of people saying that Taylor Harwood-Bellis for Southampton pretty much going to be a nailed starter at 4.0 million. But I went there last year with several of the Luton assets and Burnley assets, and it just didn't work out all that much. But maybe Life Davis could be our 2024-2025 version of Alfie Doughty, which would be great for FPL. So that's going to do it for the first ever episode of FPL Hall or Nothing. Hopefully you enjoyed the quick rundown. More prices are coming out tomorrow. More prices are coming out Monday. More prices are coming out Tuesday. And then the game launch will hopefully be Wednesday. So expect a video on this channel every day for those. Maybe on Saturday for the Friday, just depending on what the schedule is moving forward. But yeah, FPL content all season long, all preseason long, from FPL Hall or Nothing. So like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will be going out as a podcast as well. So if you're listening on the audio side, give it a 5-star thumbs up wherever you are watching or listening to the show. And hopefully that was a okay inaugural episode for FPL Hall or Nothing. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about the prices for game week 1, and I will respond because I am so ready to talk about FPL. 5,000 top 5K last year. Things kind of feel like they could probably only go down, but you will be along for the ride, hopefully, on this YouTube channel. So once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.